Hello guys, welcome back to my reef tank. As I saw on YouTube, it's been over a year since I've done an update, so I said I'd do one now. As you can see, not many changes in the tank. Through the last year we've had some losses and some new guys in. Some corals have done great and some have just not done so well, I guess. Starting with the fish, we've only lost one fish, which was my favorite fish, the nasotang. He showed up with like an infection on his side, which he could have got from one of the tangs fighting him, or for some reason I don't know why, but the infection slowly spread, and then one morning I woke up, he was dead. So that was sad. But for his new fish, we got a couple new smaller fish. Two blennies. We got a tail spot blenny, or blenny, and a snowy blenny. But as you can see now, they're nowhere to be seen, of course. But if they make an appearance, I'll show you guys. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with the tank now. For the last basically 10 months or so, I was battling some hair algae, and I think I finally got on top of it. How I did it, I guess just through regular maintenance, keeping on top of it. Got some new algae eaters in. Long spine urchin helped, a couple tuxedo urchins helped, but hard work and a toothbrush basically has it down to where you see it now. Regular water changes. Maybe you see as well what I've done. I've got rid of a lot of the sand. All the sand in the front basically, and in the back maybe just a half a centimeter to a centimeter depth. So I believe that if you have a sand bed that's not well taken care of or functioning, it's just a nutrient sink, and you're just going to end up with algae problems. So now what I do once a week when I do my water change, I put on a fish filter sock in the sump, and I go around like crazy with a turkey baster all along the rocks, all into the sand, stir everything up and turn the pumps up full. One new addition, hardware in the tank, is the gyre pump. I know these guys get mixed reviews, that they break often, but this one's been up and running now for over 6 months, and maybe 8 months, no problems. Running like a dream. I still have the J-bow pump on this side too, as you can see. That might have been a replacement. I know the J-bow pumps, they don't last too long. I think that's my third one now at this stage. Still have the same return pump, and yes, that's it for flow basically. I'll talk more about flow in a minute. As for new corals and invertebrates, as you might have seen earlier, the long spine urchin, got him maybe a couple months ago to help with the algae. He did do a good job, but he's very random and he's algae eating. He doesn't seek algae out. If he comes across, he'll eat it. If he doesn't, he won't go near it. So it's hair algae or coralline algae, whatever is nearest, he'll eat. And the same with the tuxedo urchin. You see there, he's nicked some of my zoas. But yeah, they seem to be opportunistic algae eaters, as in whatever they come across they will eat. They won't search it out. There could be some algae right beside them and they just go straight past it. Corals, as you can see, these toadstools have taken off. Both have been fragged multiple times. growing very well. The pulsing Xenia kind of stayed the same. It hasn't spread too much, thankfully. But yeah, it just stays the same. There's the Blaney there, the tail spot. Got some other Xenia that came on as a hitchhiker, slowly taking over here. This Pusillipora, it was doing well last time. Still growing, but it seems to be infested with a kind of a sponge that's affecting it, and also some algae. And these guys, they're like a pretty Aiptasia. I don't think they're Mahanian enemies, but they do spread around the tank. I used to kill them, but now I'm actually kind of like these guys. I've got a big one right here in the overflow, and he actually does look pretty nice. He's got a nice red circle in the middle, so they don't spread too quick. There's maybe another one down here. There could be a dozen in the tank, but unless they're directly touching a coral, they don't seem to affect it really. This Sinularia, I looked at my last video, it was roughly the same size, but in my last video it only had one main stalk. This is 3 main stalks now, so it is growing, just doesn't look as full. Here we have a Acropora. Said I'd chance my hand at Acroporas again, and this guy seems to be going the same way as the other guys. I don't know why. My water is perfect. Well, obviously not, but according to the testing I'm doing, it is. Nitrates, phosphates, all 0. Calcium, magnesium, alkalinity, all stable, all around 420, between 7 and 8, and mag is around 1300. So there's something else in this tank that does not allow SPS to grow well in this tank. If you remember last time, there was a Monticap here, a Montipora capricornis, or a plating Montipora. It grew very well. I got a green Monty, and that red Monty just exploded. Started growing really well, plating out, getting big, and then lo and behold, Montipora eating nudibranchs. They didn't kill the coral, they were just stunting its growth, and I was getting annoyed trying to battle these little SOBs, but eventually I just had to throw away all my Monties. I fragged some, gave them to friends, but I don't think those frags are going to make it. I think they actually still have the Montipora nudibranch eggs on them. So basically I'm letting this tank go fallow. I'm not going to keep any Monties for another couple of months. Hopefully any eggs or anything remaining will be dead. There's my tank heating the algae. So I'm going to start maybe in another month's time to bring Monties back in, because they did do very well in the system. There's a new coral, a candy cane, or a trumpet coral I guess you call it. I got it originally maybe a year ago with 3 heads. It's done very well. It's got maybe what, a dozen now, 9 now maybe. And down here is the Zoas that you probably have seen last time. They have spread like crazy. Zoas grow very well in this tank. I fragged these numerous times. Back here some Sunny D's. If you remember the original video, there was just 4 up here. There's maybe a dozen there now. Maybe 20 there. Maybe another 15 or so here. If I can zoom in and show you. And again, I fragged these a lot and sold some. Here we have what do we call these guys? Mind-blowing pallies. I bought 6 or 7 originally. They've this, I can't even count these, must be 50 or 60 polyps there. And here I just stuck a couple on a couple of months ago, and already we have maybe a dozen polyps there, so they're growing very well. Last time you might have seen these hammers, this hammer, frog spawn and torch. They actually look smaller now, although the torch or the frog spawn has been fragged, so I did cut that in half. This was one head, but it looked fuller. But yeah, you see one seems to be kind of receding a bit, and not as extended as much, the polyps. The same with the torch. The torch actually has divided into numerous heads, but I think because of the said pump gyre, these guys don't like the flow from the gyre. So yeah, you can actually see it's tearing off the skeleton. So I either have to move these guys, put them somewhere sheltered, or maybe move the gyre, because yeah, they don't like it here. If you turn the pumps off, they do come out much more. That red Trachyphilia that was doing bad last year, still knocking around. I've neglected this coral sometimes. It's been turned upside down, stung by other corals. I've dropped some kalkwasser on it. It's still fighting on though. It's still hanging in there. You might have seen I fragged this Blastomussa. It hasn't really grown too much, and same with this acan. It's a weird one now. You can see one nice big red polyp, and the rest of the polyps are just an ugly blue, grey. Hasn't really grown much. A couple new polyps, but I don't really feed my corals, so maybe I should try. Up top, bird's nest was growing well, then started STNing from the base up, very slowly. Maybe over the course of 2 months, it started losing its flesh. So I fragged the tips, and hopefully they will make a comeback. Beside that, Montiporus setosa frag, doing well. It has grown, has maybe doubled, but it's a slow grower, so hopefully that will grow for me. GSP, of course, still doing his thing, spreading up onto this rock now, unfortunately. Kind of wish it would just stay where it is. Red Blasto is doing well. The Elegance probably could do with some feeding. Kind of stay the same size. Mushrooms, of course, everywhere, spreading like crazy. Only mushrooms, they do that. Here's some frags of that green polyp toadstool. Anemones, yeah, still the same two anemones. I haven't been feeding them much. Want to keep them there, keep them small, keep them over that side anyway. Sexy shrimp one right here, and the other one is underneath behind that clown. See it there? Get out of the way. Yeah, it's there. If you remember last time, these guys were right here because they were with a rock anemone. And that rock anemone was doing great until you see this purple stuff, this Rockenthenia or Roxenia. This stuff is all over my tank. There, here, on the back wall, down here, on the glass, anywhere you can. Some on this Trachyphilia. It grows anywhere, little spots everywhere. This stuff is a curse. It looks nice, but it spreads like a weed, hard to kill, and just keeps coming and coming. I tried to clear it off here, makes it really stay for new corals. So I got some calc slurry, basically really concentrated kalkwasser, and injected it onto the rock. It did kill it for a while, but a small bit fell off the rock and down onto the rock anemone. Thinking that the rock anemone would just move, no, it decided to ingest the calc, and it had an agonizing death for the next week or two. So yeah, here's the starry Bellini, or the snowy Bellini. Nice fish, but very skittish. So yeah, the rock anemone died also. So yeah, Kalkwasser did get rid of the polyps for a while, or these zinnias, but of course it just came back. So I don't really mind it too much because it doesn't sting corals, it doesn't affect them. I think it just takes up real estate. So like some corals are able to fight it back a bit. Like look at this Ricordia. You can clear a patch. You can kind of, it doesn't affect the coral, but it does take over. Remember this frag from last year? I might have showed you. It was a hitchhiker coral. It does not have anywhere to grow now because, lo and behold, Rockenthedia or Roxenia all over. So yeah, it's a nuisance. If you ever see this stuff in your tank, my advice, get rid of it straight away. Mandarin's still happy and fat, doing well. And yeah, that's basically it for the display. Of course, this finger leather is doing very well. It's maybe double in size. It's ugly as hell though, but it came on actually on as a small piece on this coral, so I just stuck it in there and it's grown well. I think that's basically it now for corals and fish. Can I think of anything else? No, that'll do for corals and fish, I believe. As you see yesterday, or as I maybe you did not see, but as I posted yesterday on my YouTube page, I modified my LED lights with some T5 tubes. If you've seen that video, so I had a ghetto tinfoil reflector just to keep light out of the room. I went and got some decent reflectors, but because the reflectors come out a bit more, they were blocking the LEDs, because the reflector does come out a good maybe 1.5 inches past the light. So I had to modify it a bit by just getting a piece of wood, screwing the piece of wood into the original 2 holes that I made for the light fixture, and then moving the light fixture out maybe a couple inches and hang him there. Works well, does the job. Tank looks great actually. Have I noticed any differences in the T5 lighting with the T5 lighting? Not really, not as such yet. It's only been 2 days since I had it on. So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing if it does make a difference. And if it does, then that's the way to go, I think. Yeah. Down below, any major changes? Not really. I've gotten rid of all the sand and the algae scrubber from here. So now basically it's just like a refugium without any algae. It's a frag tank without any corals. It is just it's a I don't know what tank. I'm thinking of getting some decent lights and making a decent frag tank of it. I don't think these lights are able to cut it for growing corals. So yeah, I think I'll give it a good clean up, get some decent lights, and make a good frag tank, I believe. Or make a nice refugium, get some nice algae, maybe a seahorse or 2. Yeah, we have options now, we have options. Everything else is the same over here, same skimmer, same setup, everything's the same. Filter socket on today. Yeah, GFO and carbon. Oh, maybe this is new. Yeah, DIY, basically bulk reef supply style. I made a DIY one from I found a water filter store that sold these containers. So I made my own GFO carbon reactor. It's teed off off the mains with a a proper tee this time. And just tee it off with some 1/2 inch RO tubing, valve, GFO tumbling, carbon, not tumbling. So yeah, and also you might have noticed that the skimmer air intake is connected to this hose. This hose runs all the way out here, down here, out through a hole the aircon uses, and outside to draw in fresh air. Because the winter in Korea, it's very cold, so the windows don't open much this time of year. So we draw in fresh air from outside, try and keep pH stable. Yeah. Yeah, that's about it, YouTube. If I think of anything else, I'll make some more.